folks. And there's one. Here we are playing. Here we are doing Gears of the Works again. And today, well, first off, today there are three things we're doing today. Maybe four. The first thing is going to talk about these three games because these are my, not this one in particular, what the rules it's based on. Powered by the Apocalypse, or capital B, a capital P, lowercase b, lowercase t, capital A, powered by the Apocalypse. Are all my direct competition, kind of, sort of, not really, because of how my game is just, it's the thing, how my game is just a thing, it's just different. But in the RPG space, these are pretty much my direct competition. And yes, I know they're all, actually there's another one that needs to go in here. Another one that needs to go in there. It's Shadiversity's game. Shadiversity and his brother, well, his entire family at this point, let's be honest, game. How the heck is it? But yeah, pretty much, I've been slowly reading GURPS, the 4th edition rulebook, which my game actually is kind of more closely, related to than the other, which my game is more closely related to than the others, as I was inspired by Fallout, and Fallout's based on Wasteland, and Wasteland is based on GURPS. In fact, it was actually going to be more of a direct adaptation of GURPS, but it didn't work and they had to make their own thing. So yeah, Fate, on the other hand, is a okay. Well, let's go on. This is the extremely crunchy. There's a rule for everything book. This is an extremely light book. This is an extremely light book. I haven't really read much of it, or heard how the game really played. I did read the rulebook of this, or not the rulebook, the quick start guide of this, and I'll be uploading a video of that before this is uploaded. I'll give you a link in the description. Tell that if you want to watch, or you want to be there with me when I go over the quick start guide, skim through it, how I would do it normally. But, this is basically this. But, not. And now I could be showing you the original game that this came out of, but I really don't. This is actually a nice interpretation of the original rules. As Powered by the Apocalypse is really kind of mature-rated, in all the sense, maybe more than that. And it's essentially, it's weird, because I've never talked about, well, any of these games on the channel before. But it's really weird what Powered by the Apocalypse is, what the game was before it became an open source, before it became a system that people started making games from, like for example, this YouTuber here. And the thing is, the thing is, again, like I said, the thing is, the rule book that you can get for free is extremely sloppy. It's not even called a rule book. It's like what D&D does with their player's handbook, except you're not D&D. You shouldn't do that. And it's just very sloppy. It's very, how do I say this? It's very sexual, actually. Like, insanely so. It's actually pretty different because I'm not used to tabletop role-playing games being that overtly sexual. It's so weird. Of course, by sexual, I mean more or less What do I mean? What do I mean by it? I mean more or less by the look of the characters, the feel of the game, mature, dark, sexual, all of that. I I mean that's fine, but like, do you really want to base your happy-go-lucky space or happy-go-lucky interdimensional space adventure on something that's overtly sexual? I don't know, especially where the rule, especially when it's stated in the rules, it's based around intimate relationships. Let's say you performing with other people, or you, your characters are you perform as a character with other people. I don't like that. Maybe that's my autism. Maybe that's my upbringing. Maybe that's a lot of things, but I don't like that. I mean, it's not. It's fine. People can do that all they want, but yeah, it's weird that they have Fluxfall actually based it off that. Is based on those rules. And again, like like when I said in my Fluxfall series, the rules don't match the game, probably because it's meant to be sexual, and Fluxfall isn't sexual. At all. Fluxfall just flat out isn't. It's just more of a comedy, go have fun adventure. It's not even violent, which is crazy. Like, of all the TTRPGs, Fluxfall is one of the ones where kids can easily play it and have no issues. Like, D&D, you can't really have this. You can't do your normal D&D combat. You have to do knockouts, and maybe not even knockouts because that's too violent for the age group. But Fluxfall, yeah, it's fine. Whatever, who cares? So yeah, it's just weird. Where in the world is it? No, I'm trying to think of the name too. Of course, Bella. That's Infinity. That's a war game. Maybe it's in the games. RPG. Oh. I know we need somewhere. Or are we? No, we're not. Those are virtual tabletops. I can find it in my PDF folder. Sorry about that. I had to get this pulled up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so it's Cogent Roleplay. Shishad and his brother, who's a painter. What fun. I don't like his brother's channel very much. He's too influencer for me. That's fine. He's wrong a lot of times, but at least he knows to correct his mistakes. I mean, not like his brother doesn't correct his mistakes. It's just that he is very influencer. Like when Tabletop Time started getting sponsors, you could tell they're more integrated than Shed sponsors, and they were more integrated, let's say, without going far, but yeah, without going further than that. And actually, by the way, Cogent Roleplay is it's more of an inspiration. I did see their first series on Tabletop Time. The sci-fi one, which is really good. I haven't watched it in full yet. It was going off the rails by the time I finished watching it, but it was really nice. No, actually, I think I watched all of it. It's just I don't think I watched the second season of it. I think that's what it is. But yeah, then they left. I actually started watching Tabletop Time right at the end. Right when one of their the only video I saw pop up in my inbox was them declaring taking on a long break, and now they're back. So that's nice, and they're doing better than ever. It's really nice. It's just I really don't agree how they do that their apps. Alright, but anyway. So GURPS, again, I have inspiration from Fallout. Fate I just recently found, and Fate is interesting. I haven't really read I've seen videos on describing it, and it is a very interesting system, and I need to read the rule books, which I did buy. It is free. It's free, pay what you want. That's what it is. Fluxfall has a free Kickstarter guide, which is pretty much all you need. And $19 for basically 7 adventures and the Kickstarter guide. GURPS is free, and you buy the expansions that actually give you stuff to play with. It's not like good old Abby Trium or just my game, Green&Blue's game, or Dur's game. Because GURPS That's how they make their money, is by publishing expansions to the game. How I make my money is just you buy physical version, you get physical version. That be stuff. Cogent, I don't think you can buy it. I think it's purely paid for by Tabletop Time, Chad, and his brothers, and I think sister. But anyway, haven't really read Cogent. I witnessed the alpha. I witnessed the full release. Then play the full release in the alpha. I have yet to read the rulebook. I have yet to understand the rulebook. I've read it. I've not understood it. So I need to do that. So yeah, those are things I need to do. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you in a separate video, completely separate video. I'll get back to you in a separate video, going over my direct competition. I probably should keep them all in the same folder so I can find them. But yeah, and then also I need to make a direct competition. I mean, technically it's also D&D. Yeah, whatever. Throw D&D in there. D&D. Find me. D&D. Oh yeah, D&D Beyond, D&D Wizard. That's what I want. And then my real competition, the big game. Thanks, who cares? Just for having the browse, just for having this up. Oh, they're having a direct. Why are they Nintendo? No one should be D&D, and no one should be Nintendo either. But anyway. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. These are my competitions. They're all extremely different. Power Ride Apocalypse is something scary. It uses the word core moves. It does not use them in the way we use core moves back here and go to old Green&Blue land. Because this is what we mean by core moves. Core moves are a one sheet of moves which you use in the war game / combat to control your piece. But the most basic moves in every single move is a simple layer on top of that. If you know Power by the Apocalypse, then you know that's what they do too. Except they go in the opposite direction. They have a ton of rules, a ton of interlocking rules where you can ignore the upper layer. And you can ignore all the layers, but the base layer where it's basically a game of pretend, a game of loosely regulated pretend. In Green and Blue Land, yeah, similar, except it's more based on what you want to do. I don't like the idea of people paying for, neither of our games are paid for. You can download the rules for, I think you can download the rules for Power by the Apocalypse. I have no idea if those are the rules or not. I think they are, it's just that it's terribly formatted. It's terribly formatted and the character pictures are some games are like that too. Some other games are like that too, but the character pictures are very, very much, they weren't kidding on their website. Yeah, I mean, they're all covered, but like, not really, but kind of barely. But still, it's but still, that's not here. Because we're trying going back into just normal developed works. Okay, so basically, because it is a universal tabletop wargame RPG, you can either pick the wargame where you either play co-op or against someone or both, and you like Halo 3 for example, you can play couch co-op with 4 people and then fight, and then play in the match with 2 other people randomly online, and then fight 6 random people who may be playing couch co-op or not. Whereas this may have the word core moves, but yeah, they don't operate the same. Core moves in Power by the Apocalypse act more like a tabletop strategy game, particularly any of them, where you press buttons on the screen, older ones especially. You press buttons on the screen and they do stuff. Think the very first XCOM, something like that, where you press buttons on the screen and they do stuff. Whereas the core moves in Trium are pretty much like Pokemon. They're exactly Pokemon. where any move, where any move can be used by anything at any time. Well, all the moves are interchangeable. Well, no, it's not bad. Okay. In Pokemon, you have if you made an accurate to the game Pokemon RPG or tabletop game, which I might be honest. I mean, I kind of already have, but regardless, you have the sheet for each Pokemon, and then you'll have the moves. The moves are completely separate from the Pokemon, and the Pokemon are completely separate from the moves. You can, the moves are bound to rules, but you can ignore those if you want, or based on the version, or based on what you want to do. It could be anything like, for example, the first 3 or 4 gens of Pokemon, the rules were very closely related to the element, what the Pokemon is. But in later games, it started getting thrown out the wall, whichever is thematically relevant. Like, for example, Gyarados has not Tangle, but Wrap, which is a grass move. And does grass damage. Presumably because it has a tail. It's really stupid. In my mind, it's stupid. Apparently to most people it's fine, but to my mind, it's stupid. And it is a very powerful move for Gyarados. It's a balancing. It would make sense if they just removed it. But anyway. And that's pretty much how it works. Whereas in Powered by the Apocalypse, core moves are basically just push buttons. Essentially, you're either playing a point-and-click adventure or an old-style tabletop, old-style turn-based strategy game where you gotta press buttons to do stuff. Also similar to the old Civilization games before, I want to say 4. It could be 3. Which is a more known example than XCOM. But you can still look up the original XCOM. You can full defense or pretty much any Civilization before 3 or 4. Definitely 5. But anyway. And it's very interesting because Powered by the Apocalypse is supposed to be very narrative driven, but it ain't. It's actually very very narrative. Everyone's playing a game of pretend together. It's all good. The problem is, at least in the Flux Falls interpretation, is very limited. Is very limited and very much in the GM's control. Again, they're really good for really short, fast. Beer and pretzels, what the beers and pretzels, what the community calls it, or just snack games, or just couch co-op games, what video gamers will call it. They suck for anything more serious than that. They suck for, like, if you wanna at least try to get those D&D epic long campaigns that last years, or at least a year, or at least a few months, or at least a month. Yeah, no, Power by Apocalypse won't give you that. I don't know if Fate will, GURPS will, Cogent Roleplay has. I've seen it personally. Cogent Roleplay has. Because Cogent Roleplay is extremely open-ended. Cogent Roleplay is extremely open-ended. This is very closed. This is very open-ended, I guess. I haven't read all of it, but I'm pretty sure it's open-ended. Fate, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's open-ended. Dungeons & Dragons is in the middle, actually. It's kind of enclosed and open-ended. I guess Fate is too, I guess. I could be wrong. I need to do more research. This is me putting it on, me doing a not piece to camera because you can't see me, but me talking to a mic saying, I will do this, so I will do this. But anyway. Actually, I'd probably wrap up, this will be a separate episode, I guess. But anyway, so now I will take a small break. Now I'll be right back, and then we'll head on to another list, and I will I know right stuff I need to do with Trium, like I did with the video game. So be right back. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Right, I need a different thing up. Game notes. So this will be a planning video, which you guys don't like, but oh well. It's the board, trust me. That's my idea for the cover. Let me know if you like it. There's. Okay. The game. How the game be? Sure. Complete. Polished as possible. Maybe content complete. As polished as possible. That's one. That's most important. That's the most important one. That's the whole idea of why I've been keeping the beta away from people for so long. It's a mess. It's a mess right now. Because I've been breaking it. Confusing. Yawn. Because I've been breaking the game, fixing the game, breaking it again, fixing it, breaking it. I just haven't been able to playtest it at all because I keep breaking it. And just like the ideas are flowing so fast and hard that it's not worth making it a beta. It's worth making a beta when the ideas stop flowing and we're good. Which, by the way, I started to feel wait, is that the word? I think it's the word. I have started feeling the dreaded feature creep, but I've been swatting it away and been fighting it for a couple months now. There's been a lot of good idea fairies going about telling me good ideas, but I've been saying no to each one of them, except the ones that actually make sense and make the game better. Such as level links have completely changed the game and its flow, and it's been fantastic. Having to lower the health completely, lower the health damage and the XP costs, which have been really helpful as well. Wait, the good idea is very. I just had another good idea. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe. You in the back, I'm just saying maybe. Maybe I should make blocks of health instead of numbers. Where you put a dice next to your character. Standard is 1 dice, so 6 health. You knock it down until they have 0. I mean, you could do that anyway, but it has an odd number right now. 10. So let's write that down. That's a new one. I haven't thought of that before. That's why I talk to you all, so I can actually think of stuff. As well as monetize my time working on other things that aren't making me money yet. So yeah, and probably won't make money for a long time, even though they're released. But given my book idea, selling a book every other month is painful. Especially when I price it so low and don't get a lot of money from it. But anyway, all these people are buying it and plenty of people are seeing it, which is half the battle because I get like 100,000 impressions for the monies I spend on ads on Amazon YouTube. I said on Amazon. It is on Amazon YouTube. You don't count on Amazon. and as long as no one clicks on the ad, that means it's for free, which is nice. Which means I got the ad into their eyeballs, and they didn't click, which is not good. But they now know that there's something like that out there, and they may come back later to it, or they might come back later for the free version. Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, is in 6-point blocks that are graded I'm having another good idea. Except, you regen health every single turn. You regen 1 point with your 10 AP. Or 6 AP, probably. That would break the game a lot, though. Oh, 12 AP wouldn't break the game very much. However, you would need more dice than 30. And the game would have theoretically no limit to dice. Again, that's why you gotta be careful. Good idea, fairies. And I'm using a term that people use, like in the military, to describe, or military. They just learn in general when someone gets a good idea, and it's actually a terrible, stupid idea. Don't do it. Such as, like I just described. So yeah. Well, like I could make it like Sniper Elite's health and just modern health systems in video games, where you have regening health, but only for the block. That would make things more interesting. I guess pieces have 1 health. Pieces have 1d6, and characters automatically have 3. Now make the game less lethal and a bit more balanced. Like the characters more special. Like they have a bit of, like the other 2 dice are a bit of plot armor, a bit of actually being good at the game, inherent good at the game. Or it could be directly represented by the amount of lives you have more lives, have more health, and getting strength gives you more lives. That'd be interesting. That's actually a rule-friendly way of doing that. So I'm doing right now. Because would a veteran piece have more health? I guess it would. Would a veteran piece have more lives though? That's an interesting one. Can filled in or D6 as a token. Now, I could use a D10, but again, the reason why I use D6s to begin with, and also not only because I just like D6s, not only do I like D6s the best, but because the D6, it's everywhere. Everyone knows what a D6 is. Everyone knows where to get one. It's called anywhere. Anywhere games are sold, pretty much. Anywhere physical games are sold, you can find dice somewhere. Finding anything else, especially in large quantities, everyone knows how to get cheap D6. Everyone knows how to get a lot of cheap D6s. You know the trading card maker Bicycle. They also make D6s. They come in 12s and they're dirt cheap. Not only that, you can go to a dice shop online, like Dice Shop, the website, and get a ton of D6s for dirt cheap. Like you want 60 D6s? Well, that's $60 or less. Maybe even $30 or less. Jeez, I don't even know how many, but yeah. So if you want to have tons of dice, D6s are the best. Best for that. Which again, we've been swatted away from the good idea of having tons of dice because RPG players don't like tons of dice. Almost universally, they don't like tons of dice. Wargamers don't care. They might prefer having less dice, but they just don't care. But anyway. Universally, or they actually like having tons of dice, in my experience. Oh, actually, the life thing won't work because lives are expendable. I mean, that means your total health will go down too, which is actually pretty nice. But I think if you reset lives in a more serious game, just don't count them as lives. Just don't let them get back up. Yeah, I think I like the idea of lives being health more than I don't like the idea. But we'll have to see how we implement it in game. But also with D6 health, D6 health, just okay, that's not good things. With 6 health point blocks, which are represented by D6s, you do have the slight ever so slight issue of weapons do even less damage now, and I thought I found a balance with my current low damage. Maybe. Like one-handed, like the standard sword, which is the standard weapon in the fantasy sandbox, in the fantasy sandbox edition, the standard sword could do 3d6. It seems a little powerful. It could do 3d. It could. Jeez, that's what I meant. It could do 3 points of health damage, and the two-handed sword does 6 points of health damage, and then it goes up from there. I like that. I like that. That makes it more deadly, but it makes it easy to be trackable. And now we have heroes, and then we have characters that you don't need to get good at. It's more beginner-friendly characters, other than just slapping lives on to fix it. But okay. Okay. Life on a character is 1 6 point block. And strength increases with your lives. How? I guess it could be by... No. It could be that strength increases your health still, your health blocks, and lives increase your health. I think I like that. That's why you don't have to play left lives, and lives don't be regen every session. I like that. And you know, actually become visually interesting when you're playing physically, because you have like the stack of dice next to the character, and that'd be pretty interesting. And you wouldn't need to use a percentile dice. You would just use your d6s, which you apparently already have, which you should already have. Yeah. I like that. Okay. AP could be 2 health. It could be 2 blocks. No. Let's call them point blocks. To go with the point bars. Or go with the bars. And I'm already using point in the thing. And a point block. You get the level up chain, you get the level up link and chain. Okay, I like that. That's done. That good idea is done. Now we're on to a slightly controversial one. At least to me. And probably just in general because D&D exists. As we discussed in the last video, all my direct competitors. Which I have 4 of! Yay! But that is the price of the game designing in the modern day, not the 80s or 90s. At least 4, I should say, by the way. The 4 big ones. For the RPG. For the tabletop, good, yeah, a lot more. At least one, a lot more. And strength, we did not hear me say that. Power. Let's do an easier one. Actually, no, this is a big one, so probably should put up here. Okay. Make, magic. Is it just magic or special abilities too? Is it just magic or special abilities too? Like, the thing is, I want to make a thing that's different than my weapons. I want weapons to be their own thing, and magic and special abilities to be another thing. And hopefully make it easier to create magic, than just think of a spell and having to do a roll and having to do the actual mechanic and then the actual move and the actual or the main move or the special move for it. No, I don't think I don't know how it would work. I don't know if it would be better than just doing it the hard way, which is just a grind for me. I really don't like making magic for some dumb reason. Well, it's more or less I just don't have ideas. I don't like busy work. I don't like making magic apparently, or special abilities or equipment. Yeah, no, that's a bad idea. Goodbye, good idea, Fairy. That wasn't a good idea. But the health one was. Good thing we sat down and did this today. The health one was. Anything else while we're here? Oh, yeah. Redo. Vehicles. And I'm just, because I can't spell businesses for my life. Companies. It just needs to be completely redone. Finish grand strategy, which we started last time. Which I probably should upload a separate video now. I'm not thinking about it. Too late. Whatever. Too late to make a separate strategy. Health and all stats are blocks now. There might be. We'll find out exactly how much or little that makes sense. Which might actually have to start doing a I might have to do a little physical playtest to see how it works. Now my eyes getting watery. Fantastic. Not really. Actually, it's pretty bad. But anyway, I'm gonna have to take a break. But anyway, at least we did something. I should have a pretty big thing because that makes things even better. I mean, I could just have 2d6 because that's all the rage these days. Health, but no, I like the vulnerable health and the meaning of the armor. Now you have your armor dice, your barrier dice, your special dice, and your AP dice. That is an AP dice. Ignore that. That's a different thing. Variation strategy, finish. Redo. Redo. Tutorial. Finish. The setting. And missions. Actually, we need an adventure or just a setting. I think we need an adventure just for demo purposes, but yeah. I mean, we already have one. We already have one story ish. No, the Sunshine Shield, but something like that, which we made during an RPG show session. Now called an actual play because that's what people call it now. Because that's what people call it now. Jeez. Yeah, I gotta take a break from my eyes and go wash them out. But anyway. Special abilities and equipment and creatures. Alright, that's basically all I want to do today. And then we got this set. Now we're going to go off camera. Now I'm going to be right back, and we're going to continue with the and then we're going to do the health thing. Actually, oh, we might have to do a little playtest for that. Well, regardless, I'll be right back. Or, I'm debating on doing an outro, by the way. Oh! I know how to do a playtest! Da-da-da-da-da-da. Something like that. I know how to do a playtest. Oh, hello, everyone. Hello, Steve. Okay, hello, Steve. Yeah. One of these. I know how to do a playtest. I know how to do a playtest. We can playtest it in here. Ah, what a good idea. We'll do that next. Alright, so be right... Well, I guess because that's going to be a bit video. No, it's not. It's going to be part of this one. So I'll be right back.